Welcome to the first 40 Sports Show with the Goon Squad. It's Black Thought Ice Water and yours truly, Puma. It's going to be a hot one today. We're talking NFL, free agency. We're talking March Madness. The brackets are out, and the boys are chopping at the bits to fill them out. We're going to be talking about NBA, a whole lot of stuff. But let's go to hot takes. Let's go to you, Black, for hot takes, man.
I thought about this today, man. I know I said a couple of times up here about Denver not being sexy, not getting respected, stuff of that nature. And I sent you, I know I did. I sent you a clip where I might be off in the numbers, where Joker has more triple doubles than LeBron James. Well, you hear nothing about it. So here's what I kind of came up with, and I wanted to kind of put it out to you two gentlemen. It almost seemed like we as commentators, we don't really want white men coming into our sport dominating it. And it seemed like we do what we can to we're not comfortable with it. We do what we can to kind of not basically give them what they deserve, rightly what they deserve. Because if that was another black person that did that to Joker, I think I've been told, you'd have known about it a lot. LeBron done played 20 years. This man played, what, 6, 7 at the most? So I'm starting to believe there's a hidden bias when it comes to foreign and white players doing what they do in the NBA.
Ice, your take, man.
Oh, this is beautiful. Thank you. This is beautiful. I love this question. I love this situation. Some people may be like that. They may have a bias. I would agree with that. But I think to those that know, particularly the people that know basketball in the African American community, I wouldn't say that as far as there's a bias. One, because I think if there is a bias, it's because it seems like those that make the decisions or the writers, whoever, are making these decisions about greatness and MVPs, they have worked diligently to try to find the right guy to be the MVP. And this has, to me, it has nothing to do with the Joker. The Joker, to me, has earned each one of the MVPs because he's been that damn good. He is that damn good. But when you go back to the point where the last time prior to a few people, Larry Bird was the last white man to win the MVP, it seemed like certain powers were searching. So they searched for Dirk Nowitzki, rightfully so. But Steve Nash twice? So you're trying too hard, in my opinion. If you win it, I don't care what color you are, the Joker is the dynamic. But I think a lot of people still have that taste in their mouth, like it's kind of a sour taste, sour grapes, because the powers that be worked diligently to try to make sure that they had a person that was not of color to win it. And like I said, Steve Nash, you can run with that all you want to. All I'm saying is I think Steve Nash is a hell of a player, but Steve Nash never took a big shot. Steve Nash, it's just certain things that I'm like, twice? And I think that's why people are pushing back, because as great as the Joker is, I know I think about that. It's like, why y'all trying so hard? So now it takes away from the greatness of the Joker.
I didn't know you were going to put that spin on it, and I didn't really think about it when you sent me the picture. I just thought about, man, this guy is really great. He has all these triple doubles. He's taking his team to the finals. He's taking his team to a championship. And I look at it this way, is that we're so inundated with LeBron all the time, and everybody talking about LeBron, is that we're missing, and we said this a long time ago, we're missing other players that are doing great things in the league, and they don't get noticed. And I never really looked at it as a bias. Maybe it's a bias towards foreign players because they're coming over here taking over. And even Gilbert Arenas said, you want to fix the NBA, send all the foreign players back. And I'm like, dude, come on, man. They're like some of the top players. You have Luka saying it's easier to play in the NBA than overseas. And so I think it's showing how great he is, the Joker, how dominant he is. And when you see the Saturday night game on the NBA, the Lakers and Golden State, two teams that are 9 and 10, they're trying to bump up these old superstars and not looking for new superstars to kind of feature. You look at Edwards in Minnesota, he's killing folks. All these different folks that are on these teams, they're thinking that we don't want to see that. We just want to see LeBron and Steph Curry. They're great players. Take nothing from them. But there are other great players that are emerging and that are here that we need to pay a lot more attention to. and that are great players too. Let's face it, LeBron is on his way out. However you want to preserve him, all that other stuff, give him skipping games, all that stuff. He's on his way out. We need to find a new superstar. It was going to be Zion, but Zion likes actresses, and he's not focused. But so it's it's LeBron. We get it all over ESPN. I think a commentator just said that not too long ago that they're tired of seeing LeBron on ESPN. And so when you're trying to feature him, trying to sell game, people want to see him whether you love him or hate him. They want to see the Lakers. They want to see LeBron. This is what you get. You get players falling through the cracks who are accomplishing great things, and we're not paying attention.
Well, I derive from you two guys' answer to believe that there's a part of it. Like I said, there's a part of it, man. There really is. And I understand the LeBron hype, but if that was Stephen Curry, I sent you a picture of Stephen Curry, he'd have got more notice, got more attention. Mm-hmm. And what you said about good arenas. And it's interesting because, get me wrong, we should be the same way. But I do believe there's a hidden bias at us that we just don't like it, bro. A part of us, we just don't like it. We don't want to own up to it. We don't want to see it for what it is, because in reality, they're coming in, they're a different shade. They're coming from a different country, and they're beating us at our own game. And think about this, man. For the first time in sports, when has black men been beaten by white men in their own games, bro? Quiet as kept. We may not talk about it, but it is what it is. I look at, I'm just going to use Joker as an example. This man has not only been MVP twice, he's carried that freaking franchise. When people were hurt, he brought them to the playoffs. We don't even talk about it. We say nothing about it, act like it's no big deal. They win the championship last year. Nah. Well, what is LA going to do? Screw LA. I'm serious, man. No one gives them notoriety, no attention. And I said it before. I said it's about the sexiness, but at some point, you got to look at it. And just like what Lucas said, it's easy playing them because you know why? Our players, the reality, you had a coach of this basically saying, our players don't do fundamentals anymore. They want the big money. They want the big house. They want all this and that. They don't want to learn the game anymore. They don't love the game. They don't respect the game. And that's what these other foreigners that happen not to look like us, they still do. They have a love for it. And out there playing, you see it. And we don't respect it. And we don't care for it. We don't love it, in my opinion.
Aisha, hot take.
Yeah, my hot take is, I wanted to get more into that, but I'm going to stay on point. My hot take is, what do you guys think about Justin Fields from the standpoint of the media, in my opinion, thought they put out there that, the market had dried up. There was nobody really wanting Justin Fields. And we come to find out after the trade that there were at least 5 other teams that were inquiring about Justin Fields even before he went to Pittsburgh. Not even as a starter, but 6 teams total, that's still some interest. And they downplayed it like he was garbage and nobody wanted him at all.
Black?
Well, the media chased the big headlines, bro. What I believe this to be true. It was said, I'm going to put some credence to it, that Chicago went to him and said, where do you want to go? They realized they ain't done right by him. What team? He said, I'd like to play for this team here. He chose to go where he wanted to go. So that came out afterwards. To me, I respect Chicago for doing for that. They realized that they could have done more to help him along the way. They want to put him in a position where he could continue to grow and prosper. So I like that. He didn't get, I think too, Chicago early on might have been asking for too much. They might have been asking too much, thought that, they're going to get more for him, and they probably couldn't. So I don't really pay attention to other teams that didn't kind of really come looking for him because maybe it just didn't fit into what they want. I mean, you compare him, I look at Atlanta, which I think they made a mistake going after Kirk Cousins, but if they want a quarterback that can step in right now and basically give them some wins, that's who Kirk Cousins is for the most part. When he gets on the field, that's not Justin Fields yet. So there's no disrespect to him. And I know the media tries to play it that way, but you have to go to our organization that should draft you that fits. And he just didn't fit a lot of teams. I mean, he's not going to fit a lot of teams. So I don't look at it like that, man. I think, in the long run, he ended up where he needed to be. So I'm not going to pay attention what some dumbass pundits say. They kind of roll around because they run with what's hot, what they believe is sexy, and they all jump on the bandwagon. They're not individuals.
Yeah, for me, Chicago, I'll say the GM. That was very, not strange, but it was very interesting. They said, we have to do right by him. And I think that was an admission that we didn't put the players around him. we didn't put the pieces together to help him out. They almost had him killed as far as being out there on that field and not having an offensive line. I don't know what they're doing with the offensive line now. Now you see them getting a boatload of receivers. You're seeing them trying to really do something. And I think that coach knows that if I don't make this work, I'm out of a job. So now he has no. Now he's probably saying Justin Fields was the reason why I couldn't win and turn this football team around. Now he's going to get the team he wants, and now he got to prove it in that division with Detroit, Minnesota, and Green Bay. And I don't think you could do it. I still think you're coming in last place because you got a bunch of players now. I was talking to somebody on TikTok about this, and it was one of the commentators on ESPN, he was saying, "Oh, they got the infrastructure now." I'm like, "Oh, they got the infrastructure now? They're ready to go to the playoffs? Are they really ready? No, they don't. They don't. They got to get these players in. They got to go with an offense that this crackpot coach put together that didn't work. And I guarantee you, whoever they draft as quarterback, probably not going to start right away. They're going to put the white guy they had, I think Badgett, in, and because they were falling in love with him last year, they only switched him out because they wanted to kind of so-called raise the stakes on Justin Fields to show people what he can do to get him traded. He was playing for another team at that particular point. And I think it's going to be the same old Bears sitting there like, here we are again. Here we go again. I've been here since 1989. Bears don't like franchise quarterbacks. Name me a franchise quarterback that the Bears ever had. I'll wait.
Bro, they drafted him 3 years ago. Was he black then? He was black. They drafted him. They gave him another black one. I understand what you're saying.
They're not a team. They're not a team and organization that's built to support their quarterbacks. They never had a good quarterback. And when they get one, and they had a couple, they got him, didn't know what to do with him. So here you go. If you get Williams, if you get the dude from LSU, the dude from Washington, I don't care who they get and put back there. This organization is just not built to support a franchise quarterback. I've been here since 1989. I've seen these quarterbacks. They're just game managers. When they get something good, they don't know what to do with it. They traded all these linebackers, all these other folks that go on the other teams, and they exploded. And so that tells me they don't know how to coach these players. They don't know when they have a good thing and what to do with it. So I'm looking for another last place finish for the Bears. I don't care what they do. They're going to be finishing in last place, in my opinion.
If you don't mind, I'll jump in real quick, guys. I hear you. You've been there. I hear you, but I think to make it out to be a black and white thing, that's where I kind of push back.
No, I didn't make it a black and white thing. I didn't make it a black and white thing. I didn't do that.
And when you say like they're going to put the white quarterback out there, and they may well do that to give Caleb Williams a chance to kind of get situated. But again, man, I think to say to the young man, you know what, we want to put you in a place where you can prosper. Did they make some mistakes with Justin Fields? Absolutely, they made some. But, at the same time, Justin Fields made some mistakes, too. We don't want to talk about it. I don't think the cat looked at offenses or defenses and kind of grown. Just my opinion. I don't think he did. That's just my opinion. But so there's some on both sides. I'm not going to put a lot on him. But at the same point, man, I hear you. But give them a chance. At least they're trying to do something in the right direction. They're doing better than what the New York Giants are doing, bro. In the offseason. Yeah, they are trying. So I'll give them credit.
But remember during the season, they was asking Justin Fields about, you like play, this, that, the other, and he called out the coaches. That's when I thought that, okay, this is his last days here because he called them out and everybody here was like, he's absolutely right. But they made him go back and apologize, kind of walk it back. And all of a sudden they bring in the next guy and they just surround him with what he needed, gave him plays that he could actually execute. And I'm like, why couldn't they do this with Justin Fields?
But let me ask you a question. Now, this quarterback that they put back there, was he a runner like Justin Fields? Was he more of a drop back quarterback?
He was both. When he ran, he ran. When he threw, he threw.
But my point, was he more, which one would he lean more towards, a drop back or running?
I wouldn't say either or. He did what he needed to do because you still had that awesome offensive line that sucked. So he had to get away from pressure. But I will say this: when he ran, it was oh, what a great play. When Justin Fields, oh, he's not reading the defense. And all
No,
that stuff.
okay, I hear you with that. But to me, man, they moved up to get this cat when no one else took him in the first round. I mean, we forget that sometimes, and I'm just saying what happened. They saw something in him to go get him. I don't think they handled it properly, but once they got him, I won't, attest to that. But that's what I think they tried to the best of their ability, whatever their ability is. I think Chicago tried. They fell short, man. They fell short.
And if you think about it, during the draft when he was coming out, Pittsburgh wanted him, and they finally got him. So I'm glad he's with the Pittsburgh Steelers, to be honest with you.
But hang on a second. Did he come? Why didn't they get him?
I'm not sure if they were in the draft order where they could have gotten him, but from all the stuff I read, that was the quarterback they wanted. They didn't really want Pickett.
But they took Pickett, they moved up and they got Pickett number 10 if it's the same year, if I'm thinking correctly. No, actually, it was the year after Pickett.
Yeah.
Pickett came in a year after. But my point is, they had an opportunity to draft him that year. They didn't take him, man. They didn't take him.
For some
they
reason,
let him fall. Huh?
For some reason, they didn't. But
they let him fall.
That they want him. Yeah, they wanted him.
Yeah, they let him fall. I mean, and to me, again, man, I look at, I hate to even bring his name up, but he didn't go. He kept falling through the first round. He passed the first round. Aaron Rodgers, look what happened. So he may get to Pittsburgh and do his thing. He may get there and do his thing.
Yeah. All right, Ice, we stole your topic, man. What do you think, bro?
It's all right, though. They don't want to hear from me anyway. Nobody listens to what I'm saying. It's all good, though. I ain't hurt in my feelings like certain folks. I ain't hurt. But when it comes to Justin Fields, I look at it this way. I guess the point is, it's almost to me, it's like they just kind of like act as if he was trash. And it's been that way, for a while. I mean, granted, yeah, Chicago did move up and they gave up some picks to move up to get him and whatnot. But that's because they were desperate. They didn't see what was going on after that Mitch Trubisky, the devastation. So they were trying to find out a way to do it. And clearly they never, ever, except for the last receiver they brought in, they never really supported Justin Fields. And he's running for his life. Granted, and I understand the point of he does share some of his blame. But if you ever play quarterback, even in the street or on the sand lot, when you're running for your life and then nobody blocking for you, you making plays based off of sheer talent and instinct. And that's what he did. Not too many other people would have been doing the same thing. Like I always point back to, remember, most of you probably too young to remember this, but Steve Young, when he played with Tampa Bay, they were horrific. And he's running for his life. He didn't make a lot of plays because they were horrific. The Bears are doing the same type of thing. Granted, they're starting over, and that's what they probably need to do. But just from that standpoint, and I don't even want to make it a black-white thing. It just happens that the majority of people that they didn't look at just happen to be black quarterbacks. But I ain't saying it's a black thing, because Lord knows we just gonna say they just didn't recognize talent, right? Because this is the same franchise that passed on a quality guy at the time that was really one of the hottest properties in Deshaun Watson coming out of Clemson. And then, oh, by the way, that guy that was a project, and they said he was out of control. He was running around too much. They didn't know what the hell he was. He just out of control. Patrick Mahomes. So I digress. They just happen to be of color, but is Patrick Mahomes really of color? Because they really consider him a black quarterback, right? Because he biracial. Anyway, that's for another day. That might be my last take, but that's what I'm gonna just say.
All right, let's put NFL free agency on the back burner for a little bit. You know what we're all here for. March Madness. We've been talking about it all year. The time has come.
I wonder why.
The time has come. We got to dethrone this man. We got to dethrone this man right here. He's been talking too much. 2 years in a row. We got to dethrone this man. Go to Ice first, man. What do you think about the brackets, man? And I don't want you to give away the team that you like, whatever. Pop ain't giving away anything because he wouldn't tell me who he liked. So I don't expect any of you to tell me who you like. But what are your thoughts on March Madness this year, man?
I'm gonna say this: the time for hints is over. If you ain't done your homework by now, shame on you. The time for hints is over. It's showtime now. But I will say this: I will give the folks something to think about, along with my esteemed colleagues. I'll give you something to think about because it's getting hot. As soon as I saw the brackets, I was like, bang, 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 bang. What you gonna do when that pressure get on you, Blackthorn? And what I mean by that is you look at these matchups coming up early in the East, Florida Atlantic and Northwestern. Hell of a game. Both of them have great guards that coming at it, and the winner is going to face UConn in the second round. That is a hell of a move there too. San Diego State and UAB, the winner faces Auburn. It's going to be some real ball there because San Diego State has former Jason Ledee, former Buckeye, has been balling his butt off and ready to go to the next level. Moving into the West, when you got Michigan State, possibly with a second round matchup with North Carolina, who surprisingly got the #1 seed. Really? Okay. Moving on from that, Dayton and Arizona possibly in the second round. I think that's going to be a hell of a game because Arizona's been up and down, and Dayton is bringing all that they have. In the South, in the first round, possibly great matchup between Nebraska and Texas A&M. Outstanding matchup between those guys right there too, and the possible winner going out to play in the second round, Houston, with them free throws, missing free throws. It's gonna be outstanding there. Duke and Wisconsin possibly in the second round. I know I've been pumping Duke all year long, but they play Wisconsin. It might be some trouble. It might be some real trouble. Also, the winner of Texas A&M and North Carolina State playing the beloved Kansas. Woo! Who has a lot of injuries right now in this situation. Gonna be very ugly. And Creighton playing the winner of South Carolina, Oregon in the second round. And last but not least, Texas possibly facing Tennessee in the second round. A lot of scariness right there. A lot of teams that are supposed to be up on that next level, ready to move forward. But be careful, because one slip, what I just mentioned to all y'all, bye-bye. Good luck.
It seems like when the committee puts these matchups together, they're looking for the story behind the story because, you got the former Texas coach, and now he's with Tennessee, and now they have a chance to match up. You got North Carolina, Arizona, with Love going out to Arizona. They're setting up these matchups to kind of put like a narrative to a story behind these games, which is kind of fun. But I talked to you a little bit earlier before we came on, and it's like, UConn got a murderous road coming out of there. I mean, I know they're playing in Brooklyn. They're playing close to home, but they got a murderous road to try to get to the Final Four.
Well, I'll start right there, man. I mean, realistically, I guess what they're saying is that if you want to basically repeat, you have to do it. We ain't giving it to you easy. We're not gonna give it to you easy. You won it last year, so if you want to do it again, guess what? You're gonna earn it. And I was listening to the coach Hurley speak. They ain't got no problem with it. They're ready for it. And it's true. If you're gonna basically repeat, why not do what you got to do? Knock down who's in front of you. That's what a repeat champion should do. I'm glad I said about Duke because you've been pumping Duke all year. Now it's like, where's Duke at? What you talking
about? like one, well, as a great mind once told me, I'm trying to win, right?
Okay, I'm just saying. I mean, it's great advice, my brother. Great advice because, I feel like Rodney Dangerfield sometimes, right? I've been the champ twice. I get no respect. None. That's okay. No respect. I don't get it. It's like, it's like I close my eyes and do my picks. We're going to find out. Because the truth is here. We were like Puma said, we went for this all year. Well, y'all been with this all year. I've been the champ all year. Anyway, I love the brackets. You're right. What UConn has to face. I like Marquette getting their player back. Illinois is a team, I watched a little bit. They're making some noise, doing some things. I'm not expecting much out of Kansas. Basically, you ride the horse that can win. They're not going to really win this year, so I'm not expecting much out. I think I was going to forfeit a banana in the tailpipe, but don't think that, man. Don't think that. I'm here to win it, baby. I look at Purdue, and I was saying this to you earlier, Puma. I think they have an easy role. North Carolina, for the most part, you say that you think their way is a little easier, and that might be true. But North Carolina has a way of not showing up for certain games. And the thing about North Carolina, I said to you before, and I'll say it a little different. To me, either they punch you in the mouth, but if they allow you to punch them in the mouth, for some reason they don't want to play. They don't want to play. So it's going to be interesting to see when they match up against certain teams, who punches them in the mouth first and how they respond to it. Because to me, that's the thing with them. If they can take a punch in the mouth, they start tasting no blood, the dog of them tend to turn into a little poodle. But it should be a good tournament. I wish you two gentlemen well, Pops. I know you're over there hurting. That's all right, man. Keep getting on that horse. Keep trying to ride, my brother. Keep trying to ride. Keep trying to ride. But, let the games begin, baby. I have my bracket in by Wednesday. I'm not going to put it no sooner because I don't want to be looking at my bracket trying to copy it.
We can't see your bracket.
I want to see what the champ does. I'm just saying, let's see what the champ does. But, if you listen to Ice and Puma throughout this, what they've been talking about, you got Duke, you got Oregon, you got all these teams that probably ain't going to end up doing nothing. And that's why I've been the champ for the past 2 years. That's it.
Can I say one thing?
Madness, baby.
Can I say one thing?
Go ahead.
When did the bracket reach you, bruh?
Yesterday.
Okay, then. That's what I want you to be ready. Because I don't want you to talk about, you waited till the last minute. I know what I was doing.
No,
I want you to tell the people, when did the bracket hit your hands, bruh?
See, that is one of the differences between you and I. When I lose gracefully. I tip my hat. I don't make excuses. But when I'm just saying, when I win, I win.
Let me ask you one thing.
Don't do this. It's been a crazy season. All these other things come to view.
But here's the problem. Here's the problem with that. You act like you got amnesia about football. You got amnesia. Like that didn't happen. Like for real. You're talking about, I don't win twice. All this. You got amnesia. You talk about
you want to talk about hockey too? Since we're talking about brackets,
let me say this. I can beat my chest and say how many times I won. I don't do that. I don't have to. Because you already know. You know.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can see what's upset here. We're talking about the brackets.
I'm just saying, the reality of the fact is, you pump your chest, talk about you won twice in a row. You're absolutely right. But when it comes to the other thing, you act like you got amnesia. You got amnesia like it never happened.
No, I ain't got amnesia. I'm a winner.
All right, let's move on because Black must go down.
But guess what? The season was over in January. What are you talking about? We're going to April.
Well, all right, bro.
My last.
Look, it's all good though. You're right. 2-time champion. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Black Thor must go down. Black Thor must go down this year. All right, let's go to the.
Look, I don't even need to say that because I already know. That's him saying that. I ain't got to say that. I already know.
Came out and said it.
All right. Let's go to the, because we're going to be arguing for the next 3 weeks. So,
why should I say it? Just like you don't say nothing about football.
Put it out there. State, I'm glad you said it. I'm glad you finally said it to the people.
Let's go to the women's bracket. Any surprises, Ice, in the women's brackets? Because I'm just going to pencil in South Carolina because they've been doing it all year. That's my team. I am a little concerned that if USC gets in there with Juju, that's going to be a problem. There's been some hot teams. I know you talked about North Carolina State, but any surprises in the women's bracket?
I wouldn't say surprises. The one thing I will say this, I think it's important to look at, and some people might think I'm hating. I'm just calling it what I see it to be. The fact that you look at the bracket that Iowa was the number 1 seed. I mentioned to you this about a week ago about if Iowa got to number 1 seed might happen because there's going to be that pressure and everybody's on Kaden Clark to like she's going to carry them all the way down the line. But again, like I said, her teammates are going to have to show up. She can't score 50 and think she's going to win it by herself. I mean, her teammates have been showing up lately, but they got a nice little rope to climb from the standpoint of in the same division, same region. You got Colorado, you got LSU, and you got UCLA. These are quality teams, and they've been very hungry, and this is a great opportunity, particularly when they're not number 1 seed. The other one too is USC being number 1. Juju is really playing strong, but you got teams like Virginia Tech over there waiting in the wings, and I'm sure the Buckeyes would love to get one more rematch shot at them too in that region. So it's gonna be very interesting. Juju's a hell of a player. They play like they're tough, man. I ain't never seen no girls that made to be that tough. But my question is, how will they handle being the number 1 seed?
Yeah, the West Virginia coach already called out Iowa and said, "Listen, let's send Caitlin home, Black."
So I'm talking about. It's going to be a high intensity bracket of them, man. It's going to be high intensity. I said that a few weeks ago. A lot of these players are waiting for the opportunity to kind of take it to them, man. I think you're going to see a lot of physicality, which is cool. I think overall it's going to be a lot of physicality. I'm with you with South Carolina a little bit because, their last couple of games, that mystique seemed like it's kind of wearing off a little bit. They kind of like, coming back down to earth. So I'm not sure. But it's going to be some good playing, man. It's going to be some real good playing. I'm looking forward to watching it. I'm not sure if, we want to do a women's bracket too, and I can beat you guys in that because I have all in his feelings about football now. We start in March, but I'll just leave it at that.
Set it up, Ice.
You know what? It's only one thing that matters. I ain't gonna do that. That's like when you came up with that stuff about that little imaginary football league and talking about that was a championship. No disrespect to the women, but we know on this show what really matters. You know, don't nobody, unless you want me to, I set up for a consolation prize for me. You know what it's about, bro. You know what it's about. Let's keep it 100 for real. Tell me if you want me to do that, I'll do it.
No, I'm amazed we ain't talking about baseball, man. I'm talking about. We ain't talking about baseball. This March, we ain't talking about baseball. That's all I'm saying.
Oh boy. All right. Let's move it on. Let's go back to NFL news and free agency, man, because there were a lot of other moves. I know that Donald retired. I thought he should have retired after he won the Super Bowl because he came back the next year and it just wasn't the same. And a lot of people were trying to say, you know, where does he rank with the, you know, the top defensive players of all time? And I'm like, come on, man, let the you know, his cleats kind of cool a little bit before he started talking about that. It's a dominant player. I'll never forget the picture I saw where there were 4 guys blocking him, and they just let the other guys just kind of come in because that's how dominant of a player he was. And I'm not sure, according to his contract, because he reconstructed his contract, whether or not he's going to stay retired. He may get picked up by another team. That's what the rumor is. But more about free agency, Black. Who won, who lost in free agency?
You know, it's interesting. Sometimes it's hard to tell until the season really gets started. I think the Chargers, they didn't do a lot, but I think they made some moves, move some players out, tighten some things up a little bit. I think look going to be a little better. I mean, in a way, I kind of like what Philly did, but I'm not that impressed with it realistically. I think Baltimore lost a lot on defense, man. They lost a lot on defense, and they picked up Henry. So it's going to be interesting how it plays itself out in that scenario. I'm not sure. I look at the Cowboys basically, man. I'm not saying they should do a lot of free agency, but I'm gonna leave it with this. They basically have shaved off, I think it was $4 or $5 million of Dak Prescott contract this year. They're paying that man $55 million for 1 year. Think about that for a second. 55. What Super Bowl he won?
Yeah. Free agency, Ice. What do you think, man? Who are the winners? Who are the losers here?
I mean, you go all the way around, but I think I'm not even sure if there's any clear-cut winners, but I'm going to look at Kansas City. You re-sign Chris Jones, and you end up with another, a guy that's hungry and wants to win and can catch the football, Hollywood Brown. I love that dude. I think he's so hungry. So you got to worry about him complaining about drops and not getting the ball. You got to think about it. One thing ironic about him is, I won't call it about luck or fate or whatever. Imagine this. This guy went from catching the ball from Lamar Jackson. He went to the little man in Arizona. Now he's catching the ball from Patrick Mahomes. What a hell of a scenario for a guy on his in his career right now. So I like that for them. I'll say this hands down, and particularly when it finally happened, I think Pittsburgh, that was brilliant. That was brilliant picking up Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. Simply because of the factor that what they've had in the past, quarterback wise, you get 2 mobile quarterbacks, you get an older guy and Russell Wilson, veteran, whatever, and they've been needing something like that before, and then you get this like apprentice, Justin Fields. And you say what you want to or whatever, but you got to give Mike Tomlin some love, bro. Because nobody else is like, oh, why would you do that? Mike Tomlin's like, you know what? I'm throwing all the stuff that y'all say is the way stuff's supposed to go, and I'm going to do it my way. I just think that's going to play out dividends for them because even if you don't have the best wide receivers and some decent running backs, you got guys that are mobile and they don't have to take the game over, but they can make plays when they need to at quarterback. I think that's going to do a number of great things for them. On the downside, I would say, I know Justin Fields is like, damn, now y'all want to do this? Picking up Keenan Allen for the Bears, DeAndre Swift, and picking up safety Kevin Bryant. They made some changes, but I just think it's going to take some time for them. We don't know if that's really going to work for the Bears. Atlanta. I mean, I know everybody's excited. Some people are excited about Kirk Cousins. Dude, 36 years old, bro. Just come off an Achilles. For real. That's what y'all did? That's what y'all did? Okay. Maybe I'm wrong. And maybe his wife's from Georgia and everybody's going to be happy because they finally get to come back home. But how many games is that going to turn into? How many wins is that going to turn into as far as games concerned? Tennessee picking up Ridley, and Tony Pollard gets to go home. leaves the Cowboys high and dry. You got to say, man, they was all in on Tony Pollard. Cowboys, and he just like, as soon as the opportunity opened, I'm out of here. I don't want to be here no more. Thank you, Jerry. I'm out of here. I'm out of here. Vikings picking up Sam Darnold. But last but not least, it was already a sad state of affairs in Dallas. But again, like I said before, Pollard bolts on you. And now you talk about you trying to bring Zeke back. Really? You ought to be ashamed of your damn self. If I was Zeke, I wouldn't even do that. I'd go to Seattle first, anywhere but there. And if they did bring me back, even if he coming off the bench, you got to pay me a king's ransom. In fact, tell Dak Prescott to break you off another $5 million. He can afford it in his contract.
Yeah, I'll have to say I'll go to the teams a little bit later, but I think the biggest loser is Kenny Pickett. You know, did not want to compete, and they're like, okay, here's the door. Here's where you can't compete behind Hurts. You probably won't even see the field for another few years. Of course, the Dallas Cowboys. I don't even know if they have the money. They have to reconstruct Dak's contract. I don't even think they have the money to kind of get the players that they really need on that team. The Chargers, they're unloading a lot of different players. And I don't know if Harbaugh just has, his draft kind of list picked out on who he's going to kind of, replace these guys with. But you're losing a lot of key players. I did read that Khalil Mack is going to stay with the Chargers, so that's a good thing. I think that the Minnesota Vikings are losing out in this free agency period. Also, I'm looking at the Denver Broncos. You're still paying a player that's not going to contribute to your team, and you have no answers on who you're going to replace him with. Because I was looking at the record and looking at some statistics from last year. Russell didn't really play bad for him. He was winning. He was on a 5-game winning streak, and then they just took him out. So that was clear to me that they just didn't want him there. But you had a quarterback that was winning, that was running the offense, that was almost going to get you in the playoffs, and you just pulled him out. So that just tells me that your organization is kind of screwed up. So those are my losers. And there were a lot of winners. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers, they put on masks and robbed a bank. Got 2 quarterbacks for nearly nothing. And again, I'm glad that Jason Fields is where a lot of people wanted him. I wanted him as a Steeler. And so I remember texting both of you saying, yes, the Bears are trading him. And I think the GM did him a solid because he's like, hey, we didn't do right by you here. So let me put you where you want to go. And then Pickett, know your worth first before you start talking junk and, wanting to, you could trade me. And the next hour or two, they just sailed you to Philadelphia where you're going to get no playing time. All right, NBA, eye test. Let's go with Ice first. Your eye test, man. Kyrie hits a last-second shot over the Joker last night, and they're just pumping it up. But the Joker got his hands on it, so it might have helped him. I think the Joker should get an assist on that. Your thoughts on that?
Man, quit hating on that man. I know you don't like him. You think the world is flat. Don't be mad at that man. When he want to play, I still don't give a damn what they say. That dude can go, bro. Left-handed? That's crazy. Dude can go when he want to play. Again, he's only a highlight machine because once he got his championship, he just like it's about the cash, getting the money, and Steve Rockin' that outscore Luka every night. So I don't know, man. Sometimes he's just amazing. That shot was in the clutch was amazing. Some of the shots he made before it's all circus, but I think he just enjoy having fun. I don't think he's about that winning no more, and he's doing what he got to do. But we look over to the East. Boston is still number 1. Milwaukee is number 2. Cleveland is number 3. The biggest thing for me, the biggest drop is you think about it. Philly has dropped to 8th, 4 and 6 in their last 10.
Yeah,
that's ugly. That is ugly. And we're right after the All-Star break, too. Orlando, Chicago's number 9. Interesting there. OKC number 1 in the West. Denver just still straddling that fence. I think Denver going to wait till like the last minute and they're going to get you down with a seed. That's what the Joker and them do, man. You got to give them credit. I do give them credit. Like I said, I enjoy the Joker. Joker's old school. When you look at the Joker's game, you think about it, his game should not translate well today. But it does because that's how dominant he is, right? And he just plays that way, plays strong as hell, and you can always count on him. So I like that too. Minnesota, I think, is going to be up and down, kind of Clippers in that level up and down play. But the Pelicans, man, the Pelicans are showing you if if they really seriously played basketball and focus on that and not the outside stuff, they could be dangerous. And we've been waiting on Williamson forever. But now you got the child and everything. Maybe I don't know what the hell is going on, but whatever it is, if they really play basketball and focus on the game, they could be dangerous. They could be somebody you do not want to play. Sacramento's up and down. I told y'all this before I get off here. My last point. Dallas at 7 is dangerous. And I think Dallas showed you all the luck or Kyrie just threw some up. You do not want to see Dallas. Now when two dudes, Luka and our boy Kyrie, can drop 70 on call together, 70 on call. You don't want to see them. Anybody else, they get anything else from that, they can be dangerous. And maybe Kyrie might just get mad one day and drop 55 just because and cause you a problem. They could be a problem at least in the first or second round. I ain't saying they're gonna win it all, but if you don't have the guards or the defensive presence to stop them, you're gonna have you could have a major problem.
So Black, the Trailblazers out, the Spurs out, the Wizards out, the Pistons out. I'm wondering what these teams are going to do to try to figure out what they're going to do next year, because they pretty much are just playing for contracts right now. But your eye test, man.
Yeah, I look at I talk about Sacramento. This is not surprising to me, man, because a couple of years ago it looked like they was ready to kind of take off. And for whatever reason, that team is going backwards. This is going right downhill. I look at Philadelphia, and I think this is what they're going to always be. Embiid gets hurt, and then they just can't basically do anything. And at some point, you got to make a decision. You're going to keep riding this horse, or you're going to do something totally different, or put some better players around him, because you can't count on him. You just can't. For whatever reason, his health will not allow him to basically give you what you need. Boston, for the most part, is kind of close to doing their thing. And for me, it's going to come down to them in the playoffs if they decide to either man up or basically get choked out, one of the two, because they have the talent all around. So that's what's going to come down to. Milwaukee is doing better than what I thought. They're doing, Doc has them, give them credit. They're playing a little strong, a little more consistent, but yet to be see how they handle things to get the playoffs. But that's when Doc is really going to show up. But on the West, man, I look around, look at Minnesota, OKC, I think is still going to make some noise in the playoffs, but I still think Denver, in spite of, that loss, you're going to win, you're going to lose some. I think when it's time and they're going to click that button, if they can stay healthy, they're going to dominate the West.
All right. We will table the Tyson Paul fight, the Dak Prescott situation off the field a little bit later, but last second shot, Ice.
Yeah, last second shot is, ladies and gentlemen, y'all know how it is every year we get about this time, and some folks think other people are mad because they won twice. Something ain't about all that. What it is about good, clean fun. But like anything else, y'all know who watched the show. Y'all know what's really going on. You've seen the history. And I want y'all to enjoy yourself, pay close attention each week as we do. Because you know what it's going to come down to. It's going to come down to Puma chasing us, trying to get close to us. Pop, we wish you the best. We know you're going to be right there in the mix. And then at the end of the day, we already know what it's going to be. Mano a mano, looking each other in the eye. And you know what? I ain't frustrated. I ain't mad. I look forward to it. But I love me and I love what I do. And ain't nothing but at the end of the time, it's going to show us again what's real. So that's all we got to say. Good luck, everyone. Continued success.
Yeah. Black, what's your last second shot?
Man, if you ain't mad, I'd love to see you happy. That's all I'm going to say. You know what? Realistically, it's March. It's a beautiful time of the year. Spring is going to be kicking off another 24 hours or so. The ball's going to be going up another 3 days, and the madness gets started. Win or lose, it's enjoyment. Find yourself some good wings, some good company. Watch some good basketball. I hazed these guys, man, for the past 6 or 7 odd days, and I enjoyed it. Win or lose, man, I'm still find a way to haze on somebody. If I win, oh, man, it might be a one-man show, ladies and gentlemen, because they may not show up. But enjoy the madness. Enjoy the madness.
Before I do my last second shot, Pop, hit me in the heart, man. I asked you who you liked in the tournament. You wouldn't say anything. I'm your son, man. I'm your son. You can talk to me. But anywho, I like to give kudos because we criticize a lot of people on this show, but I like to give kudos to Russell Westbrook, who commits to building 180 affordable homes in South LA. And you hear all the bad things about athletes, but we need to really start giving flowers to folks who are really doing something to make a difference in other people's lives. And it's just not about them. So Russell Wilson, kudos to what you're doing out there, man. And you may not see it now, but you're changing a lot of lives of people who may be homeless or maybe, not as fortunate as others, and changing lives. And hopefully they can pay it forward just like you're doing. That's our show. We will be back this week talking trash and you know what we do. But we're gonna enjoy these games because it's gonna be a great tournament. We'll see you later. The bow and arrow.